How's everyone doing? Yeah. Good, great. I do like listening to sad music, but I'm more than that, so here we go. The first time I saw a dead person was at my great Aunt Jean's funeral. She was the dead person. I was 11. It was my first funeral. I was there with my two brothers. That's important. You'll find out in a second. With my two brothers, we traveled to Canton, Ohio, with my mom to go to this funeral. I thought about death the same way most 11-year-olds think about it, like you die, but then there's heaven, right? At the wake, after my mom's old Italian uncle with Coke bottle eyeglasses told her she had 3 handsome boys, 3, I had 2 brothers. Shattering my already fragile self-esteem, I wandered around the funeral parlor. They had some weird Italian music playing in the background, the kind you would definitely hear in some mobster movie, which did not help the rumor that my family had mob ties. The parlor itself had the most distinct smell that was probably half just the way that a place that has dead bodies hanging out smells, and half whatever perfume my Aunt Jean had on. And if I smell anything remotely close to that perfume to this day, I'm instantly taken back to this moment. So I'm kind of wandering around, but staying kind of close to my mom because this is a funeral and it's definitely a dead body right next to us. I see a flower wreath near my Aunt Jean's casket, who, by the way, I'm pretty sure is still breathing and is going to grab me into the casket at any moment, because as an 11-year-old, that's how you think about death. So I keep my distance. I'm just going to do this. All right. The wreath is from my mom, and the note on it is addressed directly to my Aunt Jean. They were pretty close during my mom's difficult childhood, so it made sense that she'd kind of gone all out and gotten something kind of fancy for her. I don't recall what the note actually said, only how it was signed. Love, your other daughter, Carla. And I started to cry, like really, really cry, because I think in that moment I figured out death and what it means, and how it impacts everybody left behind, and the finality of it all, and all the things left unsaid, and the things about yourself that you keep to yourself that nobody gets to know, and all the stuff that you take to the grave. You know, the skeletons in your closet? Wow, I wrapped it back to the theme. Amazing. Cool. So I've thought about this moment a lot throughout my own difficult childhood and teenage years and my life-changing college years, where I figured out that that crippling sadness that I had has a name and it's depression. And into my 20s, where I figured out that that crippling sadness and anxiety and panic has a name and it's PTSD. And into my 30s, where I figured out that the contentment and stability that has a name and it's called closure. And it's led me to this moment to reflect on this. And I think I must have snorted a line of Carpe Diem at my birthday party in July, because I just don't see much of a point in leaving things unsaid anymore. The little things, the big things, the weird things, the things that you think you're definitely the only person who has ever thought this thing or feels this way. The things you can't tell from my LinkedIn profile or some bio on a website. So here goes, skeletons. I always chew gum because I hate the idea of making someone smell my bad breath. That said, I hate smelling other people's bad breath, so please chew gum. I once figured out that I could use a toenail on my right foot to pick the toenail on my left foot. I love conspiracy theories, but the safe ones, not the ones that are ignorantly peddled by the Alex Jones and Donald Trumps of the world. My second favorite one is that Avril Lavigne died years ago, and in her place is a body double who sounds and looks exactly like her. My favorite one, and I guarantee everyone will go home and look this up, as you should, is that Stevie Wonder has never been blind and has faked it his entire life. There's video evidence. Do your research. I'm serious. I hate the Beatles. Yes. I even wrote Hold for Gasps. But I can appreciate what they did for music, but seriously, I still hate them, and you can find me after that. I'll get on my soapbox and rant about it. I stopped talking to my family, and it's both the most agonizing decision and best decision I've ever made because closure. I was very convinced I needed to learn how to drive a stick shift solely because I saw a challenge on the Real World Road Rules Challenge reality TV show on MTV where they had to move cars into a specific puzzle, but some of the cars were stick shift and some of them weren't. And I decided right there I would never be that person who can't do something when the moment calls for it. See, also knowing piano sheet music because Goonies never say die. I hope everyone gets that reference. Thank you. Open water freaks me out, but swimming pools freak me out more because I refuse to believe that a shark or whale couldn't just swim into the drain, knock it open, and eat me alive while I blissfully swim in bleach water. Whoa. I get irrationally angry at electronics and inanimate objects when they don't do what I want, which means I'm going to be a very delightful old lady. This is falling. I get irrationally angry at electronics. Here we go. I get irrationally angry at electronics oh, I just said that. I eat the entire sunflower seeds, shell and all. I eat the entire peanut, shell and all, because I am too lazy to pick a shell for such a tiny payoff. But also the shells where all the salt's at, and my unhealthy addiction to the salt is not a skeleton in my closet, but it's a well-known fact. I never walk into a dark bathroom and close the door before turning on the lights because, yes, Bloody Mary is a thing that exists, and all the kids in Alphabet Land in 1995 will back me up on that. I've only dated dudes and had heterosexual feelings until almost 5 years ago I fell in love with somebody of the same sex. And that proved three things for me. Kinsey was right. The world is not to be divided into sheeps and goats. The living world is a continuum in each and every one of its aspects. Sexuality exists on a spectrum, and boy, it would be nice if the rest of the world, like Mike Pence and GOP, could catch up and understand that. Lin-Manuel Miranda, though he drives me crazy, and I'll happily rant about this on my Beatles hate soapbox as well, was right when he said that love is love is love is love is love is love, and nobody cares about that. Nobody cares whose hand you're holding as nuclear warheads rain down upon you and blow your body into ashes that smear against whatever structure remains. There are no gay ashes, or straight ashes, or trans ashes, or I got super drunk at Barleycorn and made out with my best guy friend. Am I gay ashes? Because we all end up the same anyway, dead. I used to consistently eat oatmeal for dinner. Again, I'm going to be a delightful elderly lady. I spent the latter half of my 2006 weighing myself three times a day and developing an unhealthy relationship with food and exercise. I'm good now, don't worry about it. 93% of the time, I'm incredibly uncomfortable in whatever clothes I'm wearing, including the ones I'm wearing right now, and I can't wait to go home and put sweatpants on. These are the things I want people to talk about when I'm gone. And the things I want whatever 11-year-old is at my funeral sobbing because she just realized all the things I realized, to remember that these are the things that matter. These little skeletons and tidbits we keep tucked away are things that make us human and help connect us on a deeper level and realize we're not all that weird after all. Thank you.